calling women girls.
What?
To me, girl is like birth to high school. College, maybe. You know, a lot of them look a lot younger, so I can understand. When you're a woman.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure women know that they do indeed have breasts.
Okay? When you got tatas, nice big tatas.
It's funny how you constantly imply that Michael Bay is a misogynist because he always has to objectify women in his movies, but here you are doing the exact same shit.
And I know the idea that a lot of people like to think, you know, oh, well, girl is younger and, you know, fuck that shit.
Doug, for the sake of your career, don't ever say fuck that to a woman being called a girl when she's young. Because for most people, normal people, a girl is only a woman when she turns 18. Doesn't matter the size of their tits, doesn't matter if they kick ass, if they aren't 18, they are a girl. Okay, I'm not going to refer to a 16-year-old girl as a woman. You know why? Because it's fucking creepy. And to make this even more fucked up, remember when you put a 16-year-old girl on your top 11 hottest animated list? This just makes you look even worse.
If you're gonna be a main character, if you're gonna be, you know, going out there doing it with the guys and stuff like that, you're a woman.
What if she's like 12 and is fighting crime? Is he still a woman then?
Okay. Girls, you know, I think of like I said, high school or playing on playgrounds or something like that.
And a 12-year-old is not that?
Actually, the biggest cases for me I think of are in Space Mutiny, where they actually make fun of that because the woman is like, I don't know, in her 80s or something like that. They keep calling her girl.
Why the fuck do you always choose the lowest resolution for your images? Oh, and by the way, the actress who played her is currently 72 years old. So tell me, how is this woman in her 80s? And she doesn't even look 80. She looks like she's in her 30s or something. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell you with this shitty resolution, but I know for a fact there's no way she could possibly be in her 80s. I mean, just look at those titties.
And the number one next nostalgia critic fuck up is...
0, 34, 34.
You dummy! Now this one I will always defend because I don't think I was wrong on this.
0
Plus
34
is
80
not
34.
What the hell was
You people
thinking?
You're
really having problems with numbers that Dora the Explorer can figure out? That's just inexcusable. I mean, look at that thing. It's so fucking obviously a
80.
I also would just like to point out that he says that this movie is one of the biggest cases when it comes to this quote-unquote cliche.
Actually, the biggest cases for me I think of are in Space Mutiny, where they actually make fun of that.
But he even admits that this movie makes fun of calling a woman a girl. So let me get this straight. If a movie calls a woman a girl and they play it straight, it pisses you off. If a movie calls a woman a girl and satirizes that, it pisses you off. What do you want? Seriously, you're like a 5-year-old. Nothing they do seems to make you happy.
And I think in Plan 9 from Outer Space, these are both Mystery Science Theaters.
Oh, I wonder if there's a theme there.
And I think in Plan 9 from Outer Space, these are both Mystery Science Theaters, they keep calling this character girl. And it's so obvious she's in like her 40s or 50s.
You really can't do math, can you?
So, like I said, that's more of a pet peeve, but it's a pet peeve that really bothers me. The other cliches are probably going to be a lot more obvious, so, but yeah, that one always gets to me.
I'm sorry, how is this a cliche? Not only do barely any movies even do this, but when they do, it's often done in a way to degrade the character. You know, to make them feel more useless than they are.
Helpless little girl.
And also, why are you, a man, getting so offended when a woman is called a girl? I don't even think women care that much.
The shaky cam. We've seen this in Transformers, in Batman Begins.
I guess Doug couldn't find the actual bot art for Batman Begins, so he just went with a screenshot. But no, seriously, how could you have not found the bot art for the film? And in fact, it's actually harder to find a specific screenshot from the movie rather than the bot art. Here, I'm just going to give you a simple tutorial for how to do this shit. First, go to Google and type in Batman Begins bot art. Then go to Images and, okay, go to Google, type in Batman Begins movie bot art. Go to Images, and there you go. You dumb bitch. Also, you could have just said Christopher Nolan films instead of throwing Batman Begins on the bus, you dick.
In Batman Forever.
Okay, dude, going with 2 Batman films for your example is a bit overkill. By the way, I love how for all the other examples he zooms into them, but for this one, he decided to zoom out from it. You know, to spice it up a bit. Wait, why is he even zooming in the first place?
And God knows how many Jerry Bruckheimer productions.
The Rock is a Michael Bay film, you fucking idiot. Yes, Jared Bruckheimer helped produce it, but that doesn't mean the shaky cam problem was his fault. You even listed a Michael Bay film before this one, so I think you're pinning the blame on the wrong person. You know what would have actually helped your case? If you chose a movie that was not directed by Michael Bay, you fucking retard.
What's the point?
I don't know, what's the point of these moments?
Oh my God! What? Yes, Michael Bay, take my penis! This movie fucking sucks! You are Judas as shit! 40, damn! What the fuck am I doing? No, really, what the fuck am I doing? But nobody runs like this!
You autistic?
I think of like in The Rock, there's a scene where like Sean Connery's just talking in the car, and literally the camera is zooming in and out.
Okay, this part I feel like suffers the most from not showing us footage. Because we all know that Doug is complete shit when it comes to verbally telling us what happens in a scene. For starters, is zooming in and out really considered shaky cam? I mean, the reason why it's called shaky cam is because the camera is not steady. So the camera zooming in and out doesn't really fit that description now, does it? Maybe if the camera was wobbling while it did it, but the way Doug shows us, it seems like it's still steady. It is just zooming in and out for whatever reason. And look, I haven't seen this movie, so maybe it is wobbling, and maybe it is annoying as fuck. But again, one, Doug does a shit job explaining that to us. And two, why the fuck would you choose that as one of your first examples? I mean, you literally could have picked any other Michael Bay film that has annoying ass shaky cams. But yet you chose The Rock, a movie in which apparently the only thing that annoys you about it is the fact that there's a few scenes that zoom in and out. You need help.
Or what the hell's that new one? It's the Denzel Washington train movie. I cannot forget. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. Every shot in this movie zooms in, zooms out, zooms in, zooms out.
Again, it would probably help if you actually showed us footage of the film in question. Also, again, how is zooming in and out from a character considered shaky cam? Yeah, I'm taking this clip out of context. Fuck you.
Sucky credits. Again, we've seen this in Batman Forever.
I love how he's saying we've seen it, as if anyone else gives a shit about opening credits becoming extinct. No, Doug, no. You are the only person I have seen that has constantly bitched about this topic. Most people just want the movie to start. They don't really care if it gets them hyped up. They don't really care about the art. They don't really care about the music. You know why? Because one, that's what the end credits are for. And two, they're not fucking pretentious like you.
Again, we've seen this in Batman Forever.
Okay, choosing Batman Forever for one of your examples 2 times in a row is a bit excessive.
Again, we've seen this in Batman Forever. We've seen it in Liar Liar. We've seen it in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Alright, so I think this portion here shows why just giving a few examples is not gonna cut it. Not only do you just give us 3, technically 4 if you count the title card for this segment, but the examples you do give just feel like you chose them at random.
Here's a tired classic.
Liar, liar.
Parents do for?
Here's one with no effort.
Batman Forever.
And who can forget the popular
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Ooh, and don't forget
The Page Master.
we did it!
Now granted, I haven't seen most of these movies, so I can't talk on their behalf, but I have seen Liar Liar. And let me say something, when I think of sucky opening credits, I don't immediately think of Liar Liar. I don't think anyone thinks of Liar Liar immediately. The opening credits for that film are fine. They're basic, yes, but they work for the type of film this is. No, when I think of sucky opening credits, one of the first movies that comes to mind is the 2003 Hulk movie, because of how fucking annoying it is. With all this blurry shit and fast-paced editing, not only is it difficult to watch, but it does not fit this film at all. I mean, would you associate this editing with this?
Perhaps, Miss Rose. I'm loneliness too.
And you don't even list that movie as an example. So you're seriously telling me that you think Liar Liar has shittier opening credits than the 2003 Hulk movie? Well, you clearly don't think that. Because when you reviewed the 2003 Hulk movie, you bitched about the opening credits.
Okay, Coco, push play. No, now you're fast forwarding. No, now you're slowing it down. No, now you have it on extreme zoom. No, pull it back to normal. This is the best way to watch this movie.
When you reviewed Liar Liar, you just made fun of how white it was.
Did somebody just free a fairy? Why was every comedy scored like somebody got accepted into Hogwarts?
So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you.
We see it in movies that just don't care how they start. They're just like, oh, we don't care. They're just credits. Roll it.
You say that, but then you listed Batman Forever as one of your examples. A movie that does have actual opening credits. You may not like them, but that doesn't mean that this movie doesn't care how it starts. Just another reason why your examples are dog shit.
We see it in movies that just don't care how they start. They're just like, oh, we don't care. They're just credits. Roll it. And that pisses me off.
How much of a virgin do you have to be to get mad at a movie for not having opening credits?
And that pisses me off because that's the perfect moment to suck people in. Give them an idea what kind of world you're gonna see, you know, play some music, let the musicians really span their, their talents, really try to get people in this movie.
You know, Doug, you're right. You know what would actually help getting people sucked into the movie? Is if they just start the fucking movie. The characters, the drama, and the plot should do the rest. Not dumbass opening credits that look like they were made by a blind retarded kid.
It's like people are talking, there's just little credits flashing at the bottom. It's like a TV show. With a TV show, I understand. You have to get the show going. You only have a certain amount of time. With movies, it's a movie.
Don't you constantly bitch about movies being too long?
This movie's 3 hours, y'all.
I did the foolish thing of looking up how long this movie was.
It was long.
And I don't know how that's possible because this film felt a lot longer than that. Too bad it's over 2.5 hours long. It didn't need to be this long.
Maybe you could shorten it by an hour or two.
Let's talk about the first and shortest film of the bunch. At 3 hours.
The whole third act is like one big climax. It's intense, but it does get a little tiring after a while.
Which combined might actually be as long as Superman 1, 2, and 3. I could read the entire book in the amount of time it takes me to watch this movie. That'll take, what, 5 minutes, something like that? No, this film thinks we're really sucked into the high drama of it, so it's kind enough to give us 20 minutes of this. And yes, it's a slow 20 minutes. I'm sorry, I said I play nice. This movie was just 3 goddamn hours long, and it did not need to be. And clocked in at 2 hours and 50 minutes. And that it's almost 3.5 hours long, I kinda get put in a bad mood. At 4 hours, man. I mean, I guess I was not ready to enjoy this. We're only halfway through, and the rest of the movie is just the battle?
Cause this is filler, filling up the time. An hour and a half is just long for uncreative mind.
Why the hell would you want opening credits that no doubt would make the movie longer?
So more and more people are doing sort of these big collages and stuff at the end, which technically is more clever because you're looking back at the good scenes from the movie while the credits are rolling. So that's kind of clever.
Oh, now I get why you don't like the credits being at the end. It's because it's too clever for you. You don't want anything clever or creative in your films, do you, Doug? You want everything to be dumbed down so you don't feel inferior. But no, seriously, Doug, you're like an infant and these opening credits are like jingly fucking keys to you.
Opening credits.
Wow, just look how unimpressive this shit looks. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Was that too clever for you? No worry, I'll fix it. I'll dumb it down even more. Just pay attention to the... Fuck you, Doug. Fuck you.
But I like him at the beginning. Like, I think of Ben Knobs and Broomsticks and, you know, the drawings and the music. And God, that gets you hyped up for the movie.
You know, I actually haven't seen this movie. Let me just see what the opening credits look like. They're over 4 minutes long. Well, okay, maybe at least they're very interesting to watch. I'm already bored and I'm only 30 seconds in. How on earth is anyone expected to stay awake during these boring ass credits? Well, okay, maybe at the very least it isn't the full 4 minutes of the video. Maybe it's only half of that running time.
Nope.
Well, okay, at the very least, as long as the movie doesn't have end credits, I'll be okay. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
God, that gets you hyped up for the movie.
No, it gets you hyped up. It makes me bored.
So, credits are a great chance for people to get hyped up, really excited, and if you don't take advantage of it, man, you're a fool.
Yeah, they're the fool. They're the fool for not wasting everybody's time on boring credits that have not aged very well and feel completely pointless. And do you know why? Because in these opening credits, they tell us the cast and crew that worked on it. Okay, but then in the end credits, they do the exact same fucking shit. So what was the point of these opening credits? Oh, that's right, fucking nothing. I'm sorry, but I'm sick and tired of him constantly jerking these opening credits off. The examples he gives, like Superman or Ben Affleck, whatever the fuck it's called, their opening credits look like ass. They look like fucking shit. They have not aged well, and they're boring as hell to watch. And his point of the opening credits sucking you into this world, that's the point of the trailer, you fucking idiot. And I'm so glad that we are getting less and less of them, because they suck dick half the time. Also, again, how is this a cliche? This one even makes less sense because your whole argument is that opening credits are becoming extinct. So how the fuck is it a cliche if we're getting less and less of it, retard?
Actually, even some of the backgrounds in the new Star Wars movies look very nice. Look very nice. Look very nice. Look very nice.
You serious?
But when you have to get close-ups, when you have to see people there, use actual people. Use actual things. Get the puppets back. Get the animatronics.
So let me get this straight. You want them to waste time and money on making these animatronics just for them to become completely unusable by the next film. Because that's what happens. I mean, good God, have you seen what happened to the old Ninja Turtle costumes? They are no longer able to be used for these films. Hell, they couldn't even make it past a year before they had to make new ones. At least with CG, it doesn't feel like you're wasting time, money, and energy on an effect that will no longer be able to be used in future films. Even if it does look like shit, the company is still able to save money because they can very easily reuse the effect.
What inspired you
To use CG instead of animatronics.
Money!
While using animatronics will take the movie longer to make because chances are they're probably going to have to make new ones.
Use actual people. Use actual things. Get the puppets back. Get the animatronics. I know it's cheaper, but we know it's not there.
Did this motherfucker seriously just say using practical effects is cheaper than using CG? Bitch, if that was the case, then I'm sure they would use them more often. The reason why they don't is because if something was to happen to them, like they get destroyed or damaged or whatever, they either then have to put the movie on hold while the crew tries to fix it, or to shorten that scene. While with CG, that doesn't happen that much. Hence why companies rely more on it than practical. And don't get me wrong, I love practical effects. If properly utilized, they can make some of the best effects out there. But I'm really getting sick and tired of people acting like practical effects are just inherently better than CG just because it's real. No, dumbass, people like practical effects because they look good.
Get the puppets back. Get the animatronics. I know it's cheaper, but we know it's not there.
I mean, yes, usually when something's CG, you can tell that's CG, but usually when something's a puppet or animatronic, you can tell that's a puppet or animatronic, so I don't get what your point is.
But for things like Indiana Jones, what's the best scene in the last Indiana Jones movie?
When it ended.
Chase with the motorcycle.
The motorcycle chase, that's what I was going to say, the motorcycle chase, obviously.
Why? Because it was actually happening!
Jesus Christ, dude, calm down.
You know, Jim Carrey, A Christmas Carol. Yeah, you can make his nose long. Yeah, it sort of looks like he's really there. Here's a crazy idea. Why not really put him there? Why not just have an actor there?
For a few reasons. One, it's animated. Why the fuck are you choosing an animated movie as an example for companies overusing CG? Two, it probably would have cost a lot more to make. I mean, the movie already cost a lot to make in the first place, but making it live action could have made it even more expensive. Three, it's Jim Carrey. Do I need to keep going on, or do you understand how stupid it is to say a movie like this would have been better, even cheaper to make if it was live action? Also, how does making A Christmas Carol live action fix any of the problems people have with it? The inconsistent tone?
mankind? What's my business?
Underwhelming performances.
The issue is, Carrey is surrounded by actors who would make a much better Scrooge. Colin Firth, Gary Oldman, even Bob Hoskins. Because when these guys are acting, they're doing just that, acting. Carrie has to act, do an old man voice, and a British accent. Which again is okay, but it's just another filter he has to work through. Again, he's really not bad, but it is distracting when his entire supporting cast is much easier to find believable.
And filler. Are still all present. It's almost like the effects are everything.
If you're gonna go animation, do animation. Make it so that the eyes can get big, or, someone's jaw can go, ooh, or whatever. Let the animator express himself. Let animators do what animators are supposed to do.
Because that isn't the kind of movie this is. And also, I still don't understand why he thinks every animated movie has to be overly cartoony and overly expressive. Like, motherfucker, this isn't a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. It's a movie that's trying to be a darker take on A Christmas Carol. So having Scrooge or someone's jaw drop or eyes expand like this was an episode of Scooby-Doo would have been distracting.
Spirit to show me that I may change these shadows you've shown me. Change them by an altered life.
And animation is not supposed to do that. It's supposed to make something look alive.
And apparently to you, alive in animation means that it's always moving. It's always overly expressive, even if the movie doesn't require it. And it always has to be exactly like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Why? Because Boomer Fuck over here says so.
So, bottom line, I'm not against CGI.
Bullshit. You have constantly, and I do mean constantly, bitched and complained about movies using CG. And now you're willing to act like you have no problem with it. Are you bipolar, dude? Like, what the fuck?
We gotta back down, man. We gotta do like the Lord of the Rings path, where they sort of did half and half. With the other Jurassic Park movies, they use animatronics and CGI. This fools the eye. It makes it more of a grand illusion. We've gotten too used to CGI, so when we see it, we know it's CGI and we know it's not there. But here's the other weird thing. They said they use animatronics in this movie. But outside of a scene where Littlefoot's mother dies, they all look so flat and unconvincing. How can this be if they used animatronics? In my opinion, they CG'd over the animatronics. With the other Jurassic Park movies, they use animatronics and CGI. This fools the eye. It makes it more of a grand illusion. We gotta back down, man. We gotta do like the Lord of the Rings path, where they sort of did half and half. Number 6. Overusing the wide-angle lens.
Alright, so we are almost halfway through this garbage of a list, and you have yet to even name one fucking cliche. Women being called girls isn't cliche, not even close. Shaky cams and wide-angle lenses are a filmmaking technique. You may not like them, but that doesn't mean they're a fucking cliche. And the overuse of CG, yeah, I guess you could call that cliche, in the same way filming with a camera is a cliche. A cliche, more or less, is a trope found in movies that has eventually become repetitive. So tell me, how the fuck is wide-angle lenses a cliche?
You saw me just talk about this in Baby Geniuses. Danny DeVito does it a lot in his movies.
Yeah, but with Danny DeVito, it's an artistic decision, not a creatively bankrupt one.
Whenever a movie obviously just has no cinematic creativity, they just go to the super tight wide-angle shots.
Okay, at this point, you're just trying to piss people off with this video, aren't you? You first implied that Danny DeVito has no cinematic creativity, you shat on Space Jam, which you know has a large fan base, and you did it for really no reason at all. Like, when I think of movies that overuse wide-angle lenses, I don't immediately think of Space Jam. Now, maybe it does. Maybe like 95% of the movie is shot from wide-angle lenses. It's been a while since I've seen it, but honestly, it just feels like you chose Space Jam because it's already a movie you don't like, so it's easy to shit on, regardless if it's even related to the topic at hand.
And when they first started doing it, It was interesting. We hadn't seen wide-angle shots that much.
Why do you always have to say, well, when it was first done? Motherfucker, I don't know when it was first done. I wasn't born in the 80s or 90s. I was born in the fucking 2000s. So could you maybe actually give a goddamn example? Instead of always just saying, well, when it was first used, because that means fucking nothing to me. And he did the exact same shit when he talked about CG, but at least there, he, one, gave a fucking example, and two, made it more understandable. Yeah, I can see how CG could have been seen as more new and innovative at the time. While here you said it because, I don't know, you want to sound professional?
And when they first started doing it, it was interesting. We hadn't seen wide-angle shots that much.
Oh, when it was first used, we have never seen this before. Are you a fucking caveman discovering fire for the first time? Wow, wide-angle lenses. We have never seen this before. It's so new and innovative. Fuck you. It's just another way to shoot a scene. I don't see it being that interesting back then, and I sure as hell don't see it being that interesting today.
But by the 20th time we have to
Get the fuck off my screen.
somebody like this, it gets really annoying, and you just want to push the screen away from you.
No, I think that's just you. I, like any normal person, don't really give a shit if a movie uses wide-angle shots. I don't find them to be that annoying. And also, seeing as he used Baby Genius as an example, are you saying that if that movie didn't use wide-angle shots, it would be good? Because I seriously fucking doubt that. Wide-angle shots don't make up a good movie. They also don't make up a bad movie. They're just a filmmaking technique. Like seriously, grow some fucking balls.
I don't know why people rely on it so much. I guess it's because they want to look different. They want to look artsy.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold him down by your side. Yeah, great.
I don't know why people rely on it so much. I guess it's because they want to look different. They want to look artsy.
No. Well, maybe sometimes, but here's the big thing. I feel like a lot of his problems with wide-angle lenses become kind of invalid because he uses Danny DeVito movies as an example. Danny DeVito doesn't use them to try to be artsy. He uses them because it fits with his signature style and tone. Look, if you want to shit on Space Jam and Baby Genius for having no real reason to use wide-angle lenses, fine. But shitting on Danny DeVito for using them just shows that you don't understand his films.
They want to look like, hey, we're doing something that nobody else is doing, but everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, everyone else is doing it. That's why I only gave 3 examples of movies doing it. Actually, make that 2 examples because Danny DeVito has a reason for doing it. Actually, just make that 1 example. I'm not including Space Jam because fuck you. So yeah, I gave 1 example. That means everyone else is doing it.
Wide angle is a wonderful device to use.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah guys, I don't hate wide-angle lenses. I just hate them being in the movies I watch. But no, in all seriousness, I hate it when reviewers do this shit. They'll say that they don't hate something after they spent the entire time bitching about that said thing, and not even once said something positive about it. And look, if you don't like wide-angle lenses, that's fine, but fucking admit it. Don't do this pussy-ass shit of hating on them, and then saying, I don't hate wide-angle lenses, because yes, you fucking do. And if you don't, say something positive about them.
At least it's not Santa Paws?
Exactly.
Just stop putting it this close to a person's nose.
The joke really doesn't make any sense, seeing as there's more types of wide-angle shots than just the close-up. By the way, I would just like to let you know that Dutch angles are not on this list, even though I feel like out of any shots a movie can have, those feel the most pointless. Not saying that a movie can't use them properly, but time and time again, companies have shown that they don't know how to take advantage of a Dutch angle. But no, having the camera simply too close to a character, that's annoying, but having the camera slanted for, most of the time, no reason whatsoever, that's fine.
The Poetic Singer. This is another one I've gone on and on about. You've seen it in Avatar.
Wait, what the fuck? So you clearly were able to find the actual box art for Avatar, but instead you just used the screenshot for the example. Why?
It's when a big dramatic scene happens where somebody dies or somebody's remembering something poetic. Somebody's remembering something poetic.
What does that mean?
And you hear that singer that goes, oh, hello.
Oh, somebody kill me, please! Somebody kill me, please!
Ear poison. And every time I hear it, I want to strangle the lady or man who is singing it. It's so obnoxious.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, when writing the script for this video, I thought I was maybe taking this shit too seriously. But no, Doug is actually the one taking this too seriously, because even though this video is complete garbage, I don't want to strangle you over it. But you actually want to go out of your way to strangle the person for singing. Like, calm down, dude. It's just a fucking movie. They didn't commit a hate crime. Also, I am so glad you said I instead of you this time, because I don't want to do that. Because I'm not a goddamn psychopath. Now, yes, I understand that this was a joke.
Hey, ladies and jellyfish.
I want to strangle people for singing.
Huh? You know what I mean?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But does it work because the situation isn't severe enough? I mean, it's not their fault you're a massive pussy. Like, okay, if the singing was as bad as yours, like seriously, dude, you don't have a good singing voice. Stop trying to incorporate songs into your videos. Then I would maybe understand. But I seriously doubt the singing is anywhere near as bad as yours. You know what would have actually helped your point and make this joke work? Is if you actually showed a fucking clip of a movie that has this dumbass cliche. But no, keep on poorly explaining shit to us.
I've talked about this one so much, I don't even want to talk about it that much.
Really, because I watched a lot of your old NC videos, and I don't remember you bitching about this cliche that much. And in fact, none of the movies you listed as an example were movies you fucking reviewed. At least at the time this video was uploaded. And at least as the nostalgia critic.
You get that singer, you get that son of a daughter of bitch person.
That doesn't make sense.
Stop using him, her, it.
I feel like he's doing this whole thing so people in the comments won't be calling him sexist for immediately thinking the singer's a woman because, well, it's a singer. Which would be okay, but when he was talking about CG, he said this.
If you're gonna go animation, do animation. You know, make it so that the eyes can get big, or, you know, someone's jaw can go, ooh, you know, or whatever. Let the animator express himself. Express himself.
So let me get this straight. He is okay with immediately thinking the animator is a male, but draws the line at referring to the singer as a her. And look, I don't really give a fuck either way. I don't care if he assumes the person's gender, or if he tries to use more inclusive language. I do have a problem with him being cringy about it though, because that's what this is. It's fucking cringy.
Stop using him, her, it.
Ugh. Look, it's fine if you don't want to immediately think the singer's a female, but don't do this shit of making it obvious that's what you're trying not to do. Just say he or she and then move on, you fucking idiot.
Number 4. The whimsical, innocent, rebellious poet.
Well, this is surprising. You actually named something that's a cliche. It only took you over 10.5 minutes to do so, but you did. You named one.
The whimsical, innocent, rebellious poet.
You could have just said rebellious poet. No need to put all these adjectives together that mean nothing.
The meek, kind of quirky person who has a heart of gold, but screws up sometimes, but gosh darn it, he's trying.
Is that voice really needed for this segment?
This has probably come from the 90s Disney films with, like, Ariel.
I just love how the first Disney character he names is Ariel, yet the bots art on screen is Beauty and the Beast.
And in Disney films, actually, they work okay.
Of course they work okay to you. They're Disney and you fucking jerk off to them. But if, say, DreamWorks was to do it, regardless of the execution, you would have shat on them. But if Disney does it, that's fine. Fuck you, you biased, pretentious, Mickey Mouse sucking cunt! Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention this, but The Little Mermaid didn't come out in the 90s. Now, yes, that movie still does this cliche regardless, but maybe next time don't specify the decade.
Yeah, she screws up. Sometimes she does the wrong thing, but you know what? Gosh darn it, she cares.
Stop doing that fucking voice.
You know, and the big bad people who put him down just because he wanted to dream, and we don't understand.
I swear to God, if he does that voice one more fucking time, I'm going to punch him right in the goddamn face.
And we don't understand. And you see this with a lot of movies about, you know, people with special needs and stuff.
What?
Which, you know, I'm not saying, you know, that they don't need special needs. I'm not saying that. It's that this has just been done so many times.
Can you please name the movie you're referencing with this segment? Because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
And I'm just sick of the stuffy, you know, person who just waves their finger and says, you don't get it, you don't understand.
Does anyone else find it the tiniest bit hypocritical that this dude constantly bitches about Adam Sandler doing voices in his films, yet he does the exact same shit? And in fact, when he does it, it is significantly worse than any time Adam Sandler has done it. I'm not joking, these voices he's doing right now are not only incredibly cringy and unnecessary, but they're fucking AIDS.
Which, you know, I'm not saying, you know, that they don't need special needs. I'm not saying that. It's that this has just been done so many times.
Well, that was really necessary. It's almost like you realize what you said could be taken the wrong way, so you backpedaled heavily. I'm not saying that they don't need special needs. I'm just saying that this has been done so many times before. Like, what the hell do either of those statements have to do with each other? Were you seriously just that afraid of people in the comments calling you an ableist that you had to throw this in here? And actually, what do you mean by people with special needs? Do you mean people with disabilities? Because none of the Disney movies you listed features characters with disabilities. And even regardless of Disney, most of the movies that use this cliche don't feature protagonists with disabilities. So I ask again, what movie are you referencing here?
It's that this has just been done so many times, and it hasn't been done in a new way, or a way that really makes you care. It's a way we've seen a bajillion other times.
Okay, so this right here is my biggest problem with the video. He seems to think that a movie has to do something vastly different with the cliche to warrant existing. I strongly disagree with this. I don't think a movie has to subvert or truly change how cliche is done to make me care. They just have to put the time and effort into making it feel dramatic. I mean, Over the Heads does the liar reveal trope pretty much beat for beat, but they actually put in the effort to make me give a shit. Same thing goes for Cars with the asshole becoming a better person by the end, and Shrek with the misunderstanding trope. Bottom line, you shouldn't look if a movie subverted a cliche, rather how that cliche was executed.
And the person going up against the man, the big establishment, the rebel, you know.
You say that, but in Aladdin, who's the man he's going up against? Jafar? He's the villain, he's meant to be an asshole. Jasmine's dad? He's an idiot. So that description doesn't really fit this movie now, does it? Or really any Disney movie that does this cliche. Aside from like The Little Mermaid. Same thing for Shark Tale. What man is Oscar going up against? That is not the antagonist. What about B-Movie? What man is Barry going up against? Again, that is not the antagonist. Same thing goes for movies like Madagascar, Zohan, Chicken Run, you get it.
You get it!
Also yes, I know that most of the movies that are referenced here don't exactly go for the good-hearted, whimsical, rebellious poet thing, but that's also kind of my point. This is an old fucking cliche. Movies aren't doing this shit anymore. Hell, even by 2011 they weren't doing it that often. So what's the problem here?
I fucking hate those people, fucking hate those movies, fucking hate that cliche.
Unless of course Disney does it, because, you know, I'm a massive Disney cuckold.
Fucking hate it. Well, I'm very angry in this video.
Yeah, but not in a funny way, it's just pathetic and sad. Alright, so this portion was garbage. He finally named an actual cliche and he still fucked it up. Not only does he barely go into detail about why he doesn't like it, but he constantly throughout this segment does these cringy ass voices. I guess in an attempt to be funny, but it's not, it's fucking annoying.
Care. You don't get it. Just because he wanted to dream. Kinda quirky person. You don't understand the man. Yes, I do. And we don't understand.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Also, while yes, this is an actual cliche, outside of Disney, no one is fucking doing it anymore. And in fact, the majority of movies he referenced, like Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Pretty Woman, are all Disney movies. He could barely even name any movies that weren't Disney. He says half of Robin Williams movies do this, but only shows one. He says Julia Roberts movies do this, but only shows one. And that one movie he shows is a fucking Disney movie. And Airborne. That's two. Two fucking movies he referenced that weren't Disney. Seriously, Doug, all this does is show how much of a boomer you are. Disney is pretty much the only company that is doing this shit. Sure, sometimes DreamWorks or Illumination will do it, but most of the time, Disney is the one doing it. And your hypocritical ass says it's okay when Disney does it. So again, it just feels like you're bitching just for the sake of bitching.
Number 3. The misunderstanding.
I hope you like him referencing Wedding Crashers because he does that throughout the rest of the list.
You get this in Shrek. You get this in The Wedding Singer.
The fuck? Did you actually go out of your way to find the worst possible box art for The Wedding Singer? Because you have to scroll quite a bit down to find a box art with a different language underneath it.
It's that scene where that couple, you know, that's been fighting throughout the entire movie, trying to prove to you that, no, they're not gonna fall in love. And then there's that chance, maybe they will. And then the misunderstanding.
Okay, but in Wedding Singer, they were not fighting throughout the entire film. In Shrek, they did start off fighting, but it didn't last throughout the entire film. Look, it's okay if you don't like this kind of plot. I myself don't really care for it, but you have to do a better job at explaining what this trope is. Like in The Wedding Singer, they do not spend the entire film bitching at each other, you dumbass. They actually enjoyed spending time with each other until this scene.
You asshole.
Same thing goes for Toy Story 3, and Bruce Almighty, and Cars 2, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas, and Shrek the Third, and Chicken Run, and The Longest Yard, 2005, and Toy Story, and Bolt, and Little Fockers, and Shaun the Sheep, and the Dumb and Dumber films. You get my point. The misunderstanding trope can be done in vastly different ways. It could be done for comedy, like the Dumb and Dumber films. It could be done between two friends, like in Shaun the Sheep, or Toy Story 3. They don't always have to mope like in Little Fockers. But no, apparently there's only one way to do misunderstanding trope. They have to be a couple, they always have to mope, and there always has to be a pop song. Because Doug says so. Fuck you. Also, having the two characters fight is not done to make you believe they're not going to get together. It's done most of the time for comedy, and it's fine if you don't find it funny, but don't act like the movie's trying to make you believe they're not going to get together by the end.
And then the misunderstanding that has them go to their corners, think they hate each other, and they just mope. They do nothing but mope.
He says that despite the fact that he's done nothing but mope throughout the entire video.
It's not a cliche I'm very fond of.
Yeah, no shit, it's number 3 in your top 10 worst cliches.
And what's gonna happen? We know what's gonna happen. We know exactly what's gonna happen. One of them's gonna realize they were an idiot, or they're both idiots.
Oh my god, who the fuck cares if we know what's going to happen? You can say that about literally any fucking movie. What matters is how that cliche was executed. Movies like Shrek and Chicken Run are easily some of the best uses of the misunderstanding trope. But my point is, I am sick and tired of Doug acting like a movie has to be 100% original. He will even waste time praising a movie if it's unpredictable. Madagascar, I didn't know what direction it was going in. Amazing. B-Movie had me constantly guessing what plot it was going for. How did you do it, Jerry Seinfeld? Like, is this what critics do? They just sit down with their fucking bingo sheet and see how original or groundbreaking a film is?
Princess and ugly don't go together. That's why I can't stay here with Shrek.
There it is! There it is!
And look, I'm not saying that you can't criticize the misunderstanding trope. There have been movies where the misunderstanding does feel forced. But the problem is he uses Shrek as an example. Are you seriously saying movies like Little Fockers, Bruce Almighty, and Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas do the misunderstanding cliche better? Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
You can't use the excuse of, oh well, Doug doesn't like it when it's forced, because
no,
he just doesn't like it in his movies, period. You know, fuck how it's executed. Fuck if it actually makes sense in the context of the film. If it's in the movie at all, it's bad, because you can predict what's going to happen. Oh, it's that you can predict what's going to happen in Toy Story, Beauty and the Beast, and Frozen? Well, that's obviously fine, because I actually like those movies. But no other film is allowed to be predictable. Seriously, Doug, go fuck yourself.
And you just want to...
What the hell was that?
Moulin Rouge was guilty of this too. And at some point they're going to take a chance, and logically it makes no sense, they're going to do to that person they love, they're going to confess their love. Oh wait, time's running out, oh we better hurry, oh that misunderstanding can happen.
Can you tell me again why you needed to name drop Moulin Rouge here? Because even though I haven't seen it yet, what he's describing now doesn't just apply to Moulin Rouge. Shrek does that. The Wedding Singer does that.
At some point they're going to take a chance.
If you found someone you can love, you can't let it get away. You're right, man.
And even though logically it makes no sense, they're gonna go to that person they love and they're gonna confess their love.
Look, you love this woman, don't you?
Yes.
You wanna hold her?
Yes.
Please!
Yeah!
But wait, time's running out! Oh, we better hurry!
What are you asking me for? Why don't you just go ask her? The wedding! We'll never make it in time!
If only that misunderstanding didn't happen!
Now yes, he isn't saying that this just applies to Moulin Rouge and no other movies. But the problem is that I am just tired of him randomly name dropping other films in the middle of his rants. Because it makes me wonder, what's the point of listing examples of movies that do these cliches at the start of each segment if you're just going to name drop more movies in between these rants? Now he does the same thing with Avatar later in this segment, but I'm much more okay with that compared to the Moulin Rouge segment, because at the very least what he's describing can't be applied to Shrek or The Wedding Singer, and maybe 49 to 40 Days and Wedding Crashers. I don't know, haven't seen those movies either. But with the Moulin Rouge portion, he uses it as a segue into describing what more he can't stand about the cliche. And it's like, you already had 4 movies you could have done that with.
Look, that's not enough to work with!
Look, I understand that these type of videos are not scripted, but couldn't he have just spent 5 minutes making bullet points of movies he wants to talk about in each segment before he recorded the video, so that the video itself would feel more thought out and well researched, instead of having him rant and then remember, oh yeah, this movie also does this, because it's not only kind of annoying, but it also feels so unnatural.
If only that misunderstanding didn't happen. We don't need those misunderstandings. Just show a couple in love.
Pussy.
So it's sort of a mix between the misunderstanding and the not listening.
Oh, you would be great at that cliche.
One side not listening to the other and just be, we know what we're doing, go in there!
I did a funny voice.
I understand the joke, sir, I just hate it. That's fair.
That really gets to me. It's so tired. I'm so tired.
And another shit joke. Alright, so I honestly do agree with him on a lot of these points. It can feel forced. It can feel like it drags on for too long. But the problem is, once again, the execution is terrible. First of all, I'm starting to notice that with these cliches, he makes it so damn specific that what he's criticizing is no longer a cliche. A character or characters misinterpreting what the other is saying is a cliche. But he decides to narrow it even more down by specifying that they have to be a couple. Why? I can name multiple movies in which the 2 characters are not a couple. You have Alvin and the Chipmunks, Cars 2, Wreck-It Ralph, Despicable Me, I can go on. This then brings me to my second complaint about this portion, that of course being the examples he gave. Now most of the ones he gave I'm okay with. Even Wedding Singer, because I will agree it does feel kind of forced. But Shrek is the one I have a problem with. Because even when you just think of movies where a couple misunderstands what the other characters saying or doing, you still have other films in which it's done worse in. Once again, you have The Heartbreak Kid, Spider-Man 3, Bruce Almighty, Influencers of Viva Rock Vegas, like fuck you cunt. And this then brings me to my third and final problem with this segment, and that is the fact that Doug, well, for one, felt like he was explaining more about what this trope is in these cringy ass voices as if we're too fucking stupid to understand, more than he was explaining why he didn't like it.
It's that scene where that couple, you know, has been fighting throughout the entire movie, trying to prove to you that no, they're not gonna fall in love, and then there's that chance, maybe they will, and then the misunderstanding that has them go to their quarters, think they hate each other, and they just mope. They do nothing but mope. You know what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Well, they're gonna realize they were an idiot, or they're both idiots. Moulin Rouge deals with this too. And at some point they're going to take a chance, and even though logically it makes no sense, they're gonna go to that person they love, they're gonna confess their love. Oh wait, time's running out. Oh, we're that misunderstanding gonna happen. You start to get Avatar also with they're trying to tell them, you know, the big bad humans are coming. Oh really? Aren't you the big bad humans? Oh well, and they don't listen. That's the other thing, they don't listen and just think, we know what we're doing. Go in there. I'm so tired.
At this point, you start to ask the question, how is this a fucking review? This review is absolutely pointless.
And to make it even worse, the reasons he did give were fucking terrible. Like, one of the reasons he gave was that this type of shit doesn't happen in the real world that much. Which is true, but he constantly makes fun of people for criticizing the Disney 3-Day Love Story. Because yeah, no shit, dumbass, that wouldn't happen in the real world. Yeah, and no shit, the misunderstanding trope wouldn't happen in the real world. You fucking hypocrite. So yeah, this portion is once again awful. Moving on.
I'm so tired. Number 2. The Liar Revealed.
Here we go.
This is also everywhere.
Yeah guys, trust me, it's everywhere. That's why I listed 4 movies at the beginning and Chick Run later in this segment. That's 5 fucking movies. That means it's everywhere.
You see it in A Bug's Life.
I like how A Bug's Life is the only bot chart that isn't zooming in and out.
You see it in Wedding Crashers.
Yep, he went with Wedding Crashers again. Because I guess he really can't name that many movies that do the liar reveal trope. Despite the fact that he says it's everywhere. And despite the fact that he constantly bitches about it.
I mean, once again, we're gonna have the liar revealed backstory. Not only do we have to go through the liar revealed story again, which as you know, I really fucking despise. Now, it's true the story does work its way, I guess, into the inevitable liar reveal plot, which a lot of you know I really despise. The whole film, as you probably imagine, is building up to the classic liar revealed story, and I hate these stories. I think we're all so sick of it. Things start to go downhill, both figuratively and literally, in the third act. I won't go too much into spoilers, but as you would probably guess, this is a liar revealed story. Also, you know my hatred for the whole liar revealed story, and while this one doesn't follow it quite exactly, it has a lot of the same elements and still doesn't throw in that many surprises. Friends are gonna be angry at each other, the tribe's gonna think they're one thing, then we're gonna do that stupid liar revealed story, and it's gonna suck, blah blah blah. I hope there's some good jokes. And they go and mope and dope and oh, this is just as bad as the liar revealed bit. And one that's been done a lot better recently, but God was it a pain in the ass back in the day, is the liar revealed.
It's when a character lies about who he or she really is, which that's not bad because that creates comedy or that creates something interesting.
It's not meant to be funny, dumbass.
That's fine. I have no problem with that because you can get very creative with that.
Well, okay, but if the character never gets revealed for lying, and the other characters don't get mad at him for lying, what was the point of having him lie in the first place? Now look, I'm not trying to defend the liar reveal trope, nor am I saying that you can't criticize it. Because yes, there have been movies where it makes absolutely no fucking sense for the characters to get mad. But my point is, well, first of all, having a character pretend to be something they're not and that being played for laughs might work in a Bugs Bunny cartoon, but it won't for a 90-minute film. You know why? Because that joke will get very old very fast. But second of all is, again, if the character doesn't get any consequences for lying, the other characters don't get mad at said character for lying, and the main character isn't guilty about lying, what was the point of having them lie in the first place? It would just be a waste of time if you aren't going to follow it up with something. Again, I know it sounds like I'm defending the liar reveal trope, but I'm not. While I do think it's an overhated trope, I understand why people despise it so much. But Doug is saying you can have a character lie, there just can't be any consequences for lying. Okay then, just don't have the character lie in the first place. Seriously, that line of logic is fucking retarded.
That's fine. I have no problem with that because you can get very creative with that.
Get real creative with it. Yeah, right. Even when a movie does get creative with the cliche, you still bitch about it.
It's when the people find out who the person really is. Chicken Run did this too.
Alright, let's just get out there. Chicken Run does not do the liar reveal story. I'm so sick of people saying that. Because it doesn't. Rocky never fucking once said he can fly. In fact, here's what he says when Ginger asks if this is him on the poster.
Well then, call me a miracle, dollface. Cause that's me.
Here, I'll play it again.
Well then, call me a miracle, dollface. Cause that's me.
One more time.
Cause that's me.
Yeah, he does not say he can fly, you fucking idiot. Ginger sees him flying, completely unaware that he was shot out of a cannon, and just assumes he can teach them how to fly out of here. Now yes, Rocky doesn't clear the air and say that he can't actually fly, which you can criticize for feeling contrived because, yes, it kinda does. But again, it's not the liar reveal trope because he never fucking said he can fly. And the only reason he agrees to teach them is because he was blackmailed into doing it. If anything, Chicken Run just a misunderstanding. Because everything from Ginger's point of view was taken out of...
It's when the people find out who the person really is. Chicken Run did this too. This is a big thing in kids films, I realized.
Maybe you should have actually named some kids movies instead of just...
No.
2.
Kills the movie for like 10-20 minutes.
Hey, do you remember in Over the Hedge where they spend 10 to 20 minutes on the liar reveal? What about Megamind, Ice Age, Kung Fu Panda 3, Accepted? No, you don't remember that? Well, that's funny because Doug says that halts the movie for 10 to 20 minutes, and he has never been wrong before. Seriously, Doug, did you also fail 3rd grade math class?
Kills the movie for like 10-20 minutes.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
It just stops, and you just get moping. I'm sick of moping when it's not needed. If it's for a good reason, that's great, but when it's not, it's so obnoxious.
I would say having a character deceive another character or characters is well worth having them feel betrayed. Again, depending on how well it's executed.
And they usually go in again. They realize something. Wait a minute, I may not really be this, but in a way, I am. I'm going back there to save the day.
Oh my fucking...
You're doing it again!
You just can't help yourself but make every cliche super specific, can you? A character lying about who they are and then later being revealed for that is a cliche. A character lying about who they are and then realizing, in a way, I am this, is not. There are numerous movies in which that doesn't happen. Take Deuce Bigalow for example. In it, the woman finds out that Deuce Bigalow is a man whore and has been getting paid to hang out with her. Now that's the liar reveal trope, right? Well, according to Doug, it isn't because there's not a moment in the movie in which Deuce is like, maybe I am this. You know why? Because that wouldn't make any fucking sense. But what about Ice Age? Diego lies to Sid and Minnie about where the kid's tribe is and is instead bringing them to get ambushed. Now that has to be the liar reveal trope, right? Nope. can't be, because there's not a moment in the movie in which Diego's like, in a weird sort of way, I am this. He just befriends them and doesn't want them to get killed.
Leave the mammoth alone.
Damn it. Well, okay. What about Over the Heads? Nope. That's My Boy? Nope. Madagascar 3? Nope. Hotel Transylvania? Nope. Mr. Deeds? Nope. Dog Days? Nope. How to Train Your Dragon? The Road to El Dorado? Megamind? A Goofy Movie? Kung Fu Panda 3?
No, 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 no!
I mean, do you see the amount of movies he's cutting out by making this retarded statement? Hell, even Chicken Run, a movie he says does this cliche, doesn't do this part. There's no scene in which Rocky's like, maybe I can fly. No, dumbass, he came back because he doesn't want the chickens he befriended to get murdered. For the love of God, just tell us why you don't like this cliche and stop trying to describe what this cliche is, because you are terrible at it.
And they usually have to convince the person of something, you know, which usually takes a while.
Once again, you are wrong. In Over the Hedge, yes, I know I have referenced this movie a million times already, and it's probably pissed a lot of you off, but I just can't help myself. None of the traits that he says lie reveal tropes follow are in Over the Hedge. Now tell me, who in Over the Hedge tries to encourage RJ to go back and save his friends? The only character that even comes close to this is Ben, who's meant to serve as a reflection to the type of person RJ could become if he's not careful. But even then, he doesn't tell RJ to go and save his friends, he makes that decision for himself. Honestly, the funniest thing about Doug saying this is that the movies that actually did the whole, I might not be this, but in a weird sort of way, I am this, now can't count. Let's take Accepted for example.
Ask me about my winner!
You mean like fat?
When Bartleby gets revealed that South Harmony isn't a real school and that he's been lying to everybody, he realizes that this could still be a place for people who weren't able to get accepted into previous colleges. So cool, it follows that trait that Doug laid out. But wait, no one encourages him to save the school. He's the one that gets the idea to bring this to court. So great, I guess it can't count. And it's at this point where I'm wondering, what movie is he even referencing? Because sure, some movies might have the whole, I might not be this, but in a weird sort of way, I am this. Some movies might spend 10 to 20 minutes on the liar reveal, and some movies might have a character try and encourage the other character to do better. But for him to say that every liar reveal story does each of these traits, no.
So that really gets me, because again, and I hate it when a movie starts off that way with the character lying, and everybody believes it because you know it's gonna lead to that. And even though some of the stuff going on may be funny, you're just constantly going, you know, just get to that scene already, because I don't want to go through it. I just want to get over with as fast as possible.
You know, sometimes I actually forget that Doug is an adult. Because, I mean, look at this shit.
I just want to get over with as fast as possible.
Look at little
Doug Walker.
gonna cry.
Does this look or sound like a guy who was close to being in his 30s at the time? No, it doesn't. Seriously, this is a reaction you would expect from an 8-year-old getting a flu shot. Not a professional internet critic, or at least an internet critic who tries to be professional with all these bullshit speeches.
Nobody knows what the future holds, but there's two things that are guaranteed. There's going to be a lot of anger, and there's going to be a lot of love.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Talking about why he doesn't like the liar reveal trope. Just say why you don't like it. Don't whine like a little pussy.
And then another scene that did something very similar was in Bullfinger, but there's a scene where Heather Graham, which Steve Martin sleeps with Eddie Murphy, calls her aside and says, we can't be going out anymore. She says, why? He says, you slept with another man. She said, so? He says, I never thought of that. And they stay together. Hilarious, that's great writing.
So let me get this straight. You think a movie in which the lie almost gets the other characters killed, or a movie in which a character deceives another character, should have the same reaction as a movie in which the biggest thing a character does is sleep with another character. Because in that scenario, yeah, who gives a shit? Now granted, I haven't seen this movie, so I don't know if Doug is leaving out any context that might make this lie worse. But assuming that he isn't, I don't see a reason why anyone should be mad in this scenario. However, in a movie like Over the Hedge, yeah, these characters have every right to be pissed off, because not only were they captured by the Verminator to be possibly killed, but they were also fucking backstabbed. But what about Chicken Run, a movie you referenced earlier? Well, in it, Rocky leaves in their time of need, again to be possibly killed. And when he comes back, Ginger's mad at him, but not because he quote-unquote lied to them, but because he abandoned them. Which yeah, she has every right to be mad at him for that. My point is that you should be looking at the lie as warranted for their characters to get mad. Sleeping with someone is not warranted for a character to get mad. Backstabbing and almost getting the other characters killed is. I seriously can't believe I have to explain this to you, but apparently you're just that fucking brain dead.
Hilarious! That's great writing!
Not really, I mean, for fuck's sake, they actually put that clip in the trailer.
We are finished, we are over.
How come?
You had sex with Jeff.
So?
Well, I never thought of it that way.
So please stop that. Get new stories. It can be about a liar. Just stop having that moment where it kills the movie for that couple of minutes.
I already talked about how fucking stupid this statement is, so I won't repeat myself. But no, this is easily my least favorite segment in this entire video. Because he's the reason why talking about this cliche became so fucking irritating.
Hey Lois, what's going on here?
We're talking about the liar revealed trope.
Come join us.
Oh, okay.
Whenever someone says,
"The liar revealed,"
it stinks, all they do is repeat what this dumbass said. They don't add anything new to the conversation, or discuss why oftentimes this cliche doesn't work. I mean, just look at the comments of this video. Most of them are either people saying they don't like the cliche without any reasons, or the reasons are just reiterations of what Doug said. Look at this one. The liar revealed is so bad, because throughout the whole film, you're just dreading it. I mean, you're seeing the characters interact with people and build relationships, but you know it's going to come crashing down when people find out the truth. So it just puts a pit of dread on your stomach until it happens, and I hate it so much. Wow, that is the exact same fucking point Doug made in his video. But it's okay, I don't expect you to actually think for yourself. What's this one? Wedding Crashers pissed me off because of the bully, the liar reveal, the misunderstanding, Christ almighty, I hated it. Or did you know that Wedding Crashers had all three of these cliches? Or did you only find out about it after watching this video? You don't even name any more cliches the movie might have. You just name the ones that Doug says it has. Even besides these comments, whenever someone says,
"The liar revealed,"
it stinks, I just can't take them seriously. Because all these articles and reviewers expressing their dislike for this cliche only came out after this video. So it makes me wonder, do they actually hate the liar reveal? Or are they just saying that because a certain internet critic made it popular to hate it?
Just get to that scene already, because I don't want to go through it. I just want to get over with as fast as...
I hate this channel.
I can't even talk anymore about it. This dude just completely ruined any thoughtful discussion people could have about this cliche. Nowadays, when you ask someone what they think about the liar reveal, chances are they'll say this: it drags on for too long. It's predictable. They don't add anything new. It's like, cool, I also saw Doug's video. Now, can you actually tell me why you don't like it instead of just reiterating what Doug said? And how ironic is it that they bitch about these movies not adding anything new, while at the same time, they're not adding anything new to the conversation? Doug didn't even make any good points in this video. Fuck it, just move on.
And the number one cliche that drives me totally insane is...
just fucking say it.
The bully. God, where do I start with this?
I have an idea. Why don't you start off by telling us the flaws with this trope instead of just listing arbitrary examples?
Wedding Crashers.
Alright dude, do you have a fucking hate boner for this film? You keep on bringing it up and I feel the same way I did with the liar reveal portion. There are so many other movies that do this trope worse that you don't bring up, but Wedding Crashers, a movie with an actually interesting and funny bully, gets referenced 3 goddamn times in a row.
Okay, here goes.
And yes, I did finally watch Wedding Crashers because he wouldn't stop bringing this fucking film up.
What is wrong with you?
But anyways, in Doug's mind, Wedding Crashers is one of the worst examples of this trope being done. Well, this trope must not actually be that bad then. I mean, if he considers this,
Claire, get your fucking ass
to be one of the worst bullies in film, then I don't know why he's bitching about it. The bully is fine.
The bully.
You don't know shit.
And yeah, I know some of you are going to try to defend his dumbass by saying, he never said this was one of the worst bullies. Well then he shouldn't have listed this film 3 fucking times in a row.
It. Let Me In. Wedding Crashers. Every Adam Sandler movie.
Okay Doug, answer me this. Who was the bully in... Click, Blended, Funny People, Reign Over Me, 51st Dates, Big Daddy, The Week Up, Jack and Jill, The Merowitz Story, Spanglish, Murder Mystery 1 and 2, Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3, Do Over, Cindy Wexler, You Are So Not Invited by Bar Mitzvah, and Punch Drunk Glove. I swear, this guy just watched Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and was like, oh, I guess every Adam Sandler movie has a bully. Fuck you. Also,
every Adam Sandler movie.
Yes, every Adam Sandler movie. All one of them. Because as we all know, Adam Sandler has only ever been in one film, and one film only. You couldn't have even chose the first film he was in. Because I guess you're just that fucking lazy. Also, out of all Adam Sandler movies you could have used as the poster child for bad bully characters, why the fuck would you choose the one from Billy Madison? At least with that bully, he had a motivation that made sense. Unlike, say, the one in Wedding Singer. That one only does shit that the movie asks of him. Why does he care so much about marrying Juliet despite the fact that he can sleep with any woman he wants and is rich? Well, because they need an obstacle for Adam Sandler to get over. It doesn't matter if it makes any logical sense for a character to be doing what they're doing, just as long as there's a character standing in the way of the protagonist.
Well, the chart says
he's also not hypocritical like the one in Grown Ups. He's actually funny unlike the one in Going Overboard. But no, Billy Madison is what he considers the poster boy for bad boys in Adam Sandler movies. And you can't even use the excuse of, oh well, he just chose this movie as the basis for this trope. Because again, this wasn't his first fucking movie, you retards. That was Going Overboard, and that movie too had a bully who was more generic, unfunny, and had no real reason to be an asshole. Or better yet, here's an idea. Instead of just choosing one example when you say half or all of an actor's movies do this, you could just go online and find an image with multiple movies from that actor. Look here, I already found one. Oh look, I found another one, and 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 another one. It's not that fucking hard.
Am I doing this right? Should I update my software?
These are literally the guys that make pretty much every other cliche I just talked about happen. Wow. I mean, wow.
I can't believe you. You are seriously unable to describe what a bully is in film. And let me just tell you, throughout this segment, Doug doesn't seem to know the difference between a bully and just a straight up villain. Because tell me, in Shrek, well, one, who was the bully in that film? And I swear to God, if you say Lord Farquaad, you are a bigger retard than I thought. But second of all, how did he even make the misunderstanding happen? He didn't. That was Shrek's insecurity. Or how about in A Bug's Life? Again, who was the bully in that film? And again, Hopper was a villain, not a bully. Also, even if he was a bully, he did not make the lie reveal happen. The lie reveal happened due to retarded logic.
You lied, Flick. You lied to her. You lied to the colony. You lied to me. And like an idiot, I believed you. I want you to leave, Flick. And this time, don't come back.
Dumbass! 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 How much of a dumbass are you?
Or what about How to Train Dragon? Where's the bully in that film? Also, I like how he says,
these are literally the guys that make pretty much every other cliche I just talked about happen.
Okay, first of all, I feel they need to remind you that most of the shit on this list is not even a fucking cliche. You only managed to name 4 actual cliches. 4 out of 10, that's not even half. Second of all, ignoring that fact, how does the bully affect the amount of shaky cam? Does this fictional character just go over there and start fucking around with the camera like a spaz? Or how about the overlines on CG, calling women girls, the poetic singer, overusing wide-angle lenses? Like, do you even watch your own fucking videos before you upload them? So even if you want to count this other shit as cliches, this comment still makes no sense.
What do you got here?
Bunch of shit.
I see.
Because some of these are physically impossible for the bully to mess with. I honestly just think that this is another example of Doug being bad at math.
These are literally the guys that make pretty much every other cliche I just talked about happen.
Yeah, because as we all know, 4 out of 10 is most. Fucking idiot.
I wouldn't mind if they made him funny. A good example is in Happy Gilmore. That bad guy was funny. There's a scene where he's like, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And he's like, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast? And he's, no. It's like, that's funny.
Well, he didn't say it like that. He was actually funny when he said it and did make me cringe.
No.
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 No. Villains are very interesting characters, you know, like the Disney villains. Yeah, a lot of them don't have much motivation, but they're so charming, and they're so delicious, and they're enjoying what they're doing.
He certainly can't go one video without jerking off Disney, can he? Also, see what I mean? He can't tell the difference between a villain and a bully.
You know, show us something that somebody has to do. Show, what the hell is that movie everybody hated? I thought it was kind of good. Marley and Me. Everybody hated, everybody hated, everybody hated, everybody hated. Sometimes you can work around them. Like I said, I like Wedding Crashers despite those horrible cliches. And there's other movies I like.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Because I really want to get these cliches out. A lot of people don't seem to see these cliches as much. Or they don't point them out. They point out more obvious ones.
Or, and hear me out, they just don't give a shit because they're not a little bitch like you.
Hopefully these cliches will just get less and less as more people wake up and they stop seeing films that are having these cliches.
Or they just don't care. Alright, I'm done. This video was just horrible. For starters, he seems to think that just because something has been done so many times before, that it's inherently bad if they don't add anything new to it. No, dumbass. It all depends on how well it's executed. I like the way Shrek handled the misunderstanding, how Over the Heads handled the liar reveal, how Wreck-It Ralph handled the third act breakup, how Billy Madison handled the bully. And these movies don't really add anything new to the trope, but they actually dedicate time into developing it, and not just pulling the conflict out of their ass. Second, the title is kind of misleading. It says Doug's 10 worst cliches, yet you only managed to name 4. The others are filmmaking techniques that you just don't like. And if you do want to know what an actual cliche is, it is the misunderstanding, the liar reveal, the bully, like you already mentioned, but it's also the ending dancing, the will they won't they relationship, the chosen one, and the fake out death. Like, this shit is actual cliches. Not this other garbage that feels like you either don't know how movies are made, or you use it as an excuse to pander to feminists. Third, his attitude. He is incredibly unlikable throughout this entire video. He goes on these rants, which I do understand is kind of the appeal of the nostalgia critic, but here, it's not funny.
Fucking hate those people, fucking hate those movies, fucking hate that cliche. Fucking hate it. Well, I'm very angry in this video.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's not entertaining.
I know the idea that a lot of people like to think, you know, oh, well, girl is younger and, you know, fuck that shit.
What the hell is wrong with you, you sick bastard?
It doesn't feel deserved.
Just get to that scene already, because I don't want to go through it. I just want to get over with as fast as possible.
What's that? I think it's the sound of no one caring.
It's not properly built up.
I can't stand it. And every time I hear it, I want to strangle the lady or man who is singing it. It's so obnoxious.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
And it makes me cringe.
Do you ever have a conversation with someone just going, no, you don't!
Oh. Especially the part where he talks about women being called girls. God, that was fucking awful. And because he's so unlikable, it makes it so that when he does get something wrong, it's more infuriating than if he just grew some fucking balls and stopped being such a pussy. And guess what? He did exactly that in 2024. Where he talked about more cliches he doesn't like, but this time he's a lot more calm and a lot more professional. So even if I do have problems with that video, I don't hate it because Doug is actually likable there, unlike the cunt bag we have here.
Just get to that scene already, because I don't want to go through it. I just want to get over with as fast as possible.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Anyways, time to wrap it up. Now, I would just like to let you know that I don't hate the nostalgia critic. I honestly think that his new reviews are so much better than the ones he was releasing back then. Once he dropped this asshole persona, which for some reason his fans enjoyed, or he thought his fans enjoyed, and I just never understood that.
And for those of you wondering why I didn't put Hannibal on there, Hannibal with the brain and the spoon. That was stupid. And anybody who likes it is stupid too. I know it's just my opinion, but I'm right.
Wow. What an asshole.
Now, there have been views he made where this type of persona worked. However, when it misses, it can completely ruin the video for me. With Christmas with the Cranks and the Jungle Book remake being the biggest culprits of this. You're also probably wondering why I'm making a response video to a video that's over a decade old. Well, I mean, the whole point of the nostalgia critic, at least back then, was to review old media. But in all seriousness, the main reason why I wanted to make a video on this is because this is still kind of a problem I see nowadays. Where if a movie even dares to do a cliche that you don't like, it is immediately a bad movie or a lesser movie because of it. Yeah, a movie can't possibly do a cliche in a way where you still care for the characters. No, if they don't add anything new to the cliche, it is inherently a lesser product. I'm sorry, but when did it become that a movie has to be unpredictable to be good? Can a movie just be entertaining anymore? Why does it also have to have an unpredictable story? And it's this kind of mindset that ruined internet criticism for me. Nowadays, when you watch a review of not even just movies or TV shows, but also other media like video games, although it is less often found in those reviews, it feels like a huge bulk of the criticism is just that it's too predictable or has too many cliches in it. And I do understand that when it comes to certain movies, like Norm of the North or the Emoji Movie, The points are valid there because those films only use those cliches because they think that's what makes up a good movie. But that doesn't mean that every movie that uses these cliches are lazy or had no effort put in. And I think the thing that really pisses me off about this is the hypocrisy. Because all these other movies that people hold in such high regard, they too also have a predictable story. But it's fine there because you're biased. There's no other way to put it. You grew up with the film, so it's fine. But if it's already a movie you don't like or don't care for, then it becomes a problem. My ending note on this is that next time you see a movie with a cliche you don't like, instead of just writing it off as lazy, actually analyze if the cliche was handled well. You know, like an actual critic. And if you can't do that, then just don't be a fucking reviewer. Because it's clear you don't know how to properly review something. Anyway, I'm done. Fuck this video.